Greetings. My name is Marlon Taylor, Customer Success Account Manager for Cloud Blue, a division of Ingram Micro Cloud. I'm also a very proud member of the Butterfly ERG group at Ingram Micro. For the month of September, we're hosting a wellness event with 3 very key areas of specific focus: mind, body, and soul. It is the mind in which I wish to speak with you this afternoon. There has been a long-running stigma, negative stigma, attached to specifically the Black community about admitting and seeking mental health care. In 2001, I went through a very difficult divorce, and I was an individual raised to deal with your problems, never admit your problems, very old school, where you just kept everything inside. When I went through that divorce in 2001, the first thing I needed to do was admit that I could not handle that on my own, and I needed to seek assistance and help. And I reached out and I did that. Long story short, many sessions, many tears shed, yes. I came out the other end, a very proud, strong Black man who was a better person, a better man, and most importantly, a better father to my son. So I'm here to tell you, do not let those stigmas stand in the way of you admitting that you need help. It is okay to admit that you need help and seek that help. Again, I was raised and became a very strong, proud Black man, professional in the computer industry, now the cloud industry. And sometimes we're not equipped to deal with things on our own, and we need to break down those barriers. And it is okay, it is safe to say, I cannot handle it on my own. I did that. One of the best pieces of advice I give people who have come behind me, be it relationships, be it work, whatever the case may be, my advice to them has always been, if you are to achieve your goals, and if relationships are your goals, whether they be with another individual, whether they be at work, whether they be with family members, whatever it is, in order to have a healthy, functional, successful relationship, the first thing you have to fix is yourself. And you only can fix yourself if you admit you have a problem and seek assistance to deal with that problem. We wish you all the best of health for your mind, body, and soul on behalf of the ERG in the month of September. We hope you enjoy our event and be well, be safe, be healthy. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Cheryl Thompson, and I'm a senior technology consultant with Ingram Micro. I'm also a professional counselor. Today, I want to discuss with you the mental health in the ages of COVID. What we have seen has been an increase in depression and anxiety. The percentage of increase has been from 36% to 42% in adults of depression and anxiety. What I want to give you is some few symptoms of each of those, and then some coping mechanisms that you can use and share with your friends and families. For depression, here are some symptoms. If you have little interest or pleasure in doing things, if you're feeling down or you're feeling hopeless, if you're tired much of the day, or if you're having trouble sleeping, if you do not want to engage with others, or if you would prefer to stay home and in the bed all day, those are really telltale signs of depression. For anxiety, if you're feeling nervous or anxious or on edge, or not being able to stop worrying, or you can't control your worry, that's anxiety. Here's some coping skills for depression. Depression thrives with a side order of loneliness. So what I highly recommend when people are feeling depressed is not to be alone. Talk to someone, contact someone, let someone know how you're feeling. The other thing is depression thrives in darkness and just being covered up constantly. So what I would recommend highly to people is to make sure you open your blinds, open your curtains, spend some time outdoors to get natural vitamin D. Exercise to increase your endorphins and your serotonin levels. Also eat healthy. What we find is many times our diets can also mask the feeling of depression. So if you have a high fructose diet or high carbohydrates diet, that also shows symptoms of depression. And then next, have a routine, have a daily routine, something that you do on a regular basis to get you moving and get you going. And the other thing I like to tell my clients is to journal your thoughts and your feelings. Make sure you're writing them down. If you're not writing them down, make sure you're speaking to someone about them so that those negative thoughts and feelings will come up and out of you and don't stay in you and fester in you. So speak with a therapist if you have the opportunity. Also, there is something called a survey, which is called the Beck's Depression Inventory Survey, and it's BECK''S Depression Inventory. If you Google that, you'll find it. You can take that survey and you can see specifically what in edge of the spectrum that you fall in on depression. The next thing is called coping skills for anxiety. This is a good one here. Understand what is in your control to change, and then understand what is not in your control to change. I love the serenity prayer here. Accept the things that I cannot change, then give me the courage to change the things that I can change, and give me the wisdom to know the difference. For the things that you can change, make a plan and address them. Write your thoughts down. This will also help you to sleep better when you get those thoughts out of your head. Put them on paper or put notes in your phone. Also, anxiety is fear of the future, fear of the unknown, fear of what is to happen or what is to come. That is so beyond our pay grade. What I like to tell my clients is to stay in the now. Finally, what I have recognized as a professional counselor is that as we started to come out of the COVID pandemic, we started to notice more. We started to notice quickly the depression and the anxiety, yes. But as we start to come out of the COVID pandemic or kind of loosened up some of those things that we could start doing, we started to notice more people with PTSD and grief. And a lot of people think grief is the loss of an actual individual person, but grief can be not to just death. Grief can be a loss of a loved one moving away. Grief can be loss of a job. Grief can be I lost being able to see my family on a regular basis. Grief could be a loss of normalcy, just going to the movies or going out to dinner or being around your social groups. A lot of people were going through grief and did not realize it. And there are different phases of grief. That's disbelief and shock, and then denial, then pain and guilt, and then bargaining, and then here's one, anger. People get angry during the time of when they're going through their grief, depression, and then finally the final stage is acceptance. Now, this does not mean that everybody has to go through all of these different stages. These are just the different stages that there are of grief. But many people grieve differently, and everybody has to choose their own path of grief. Grief is a journey, not just a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-step process. It is actually a journey. The biggest thing that I would like to say to everyone, if you ever get to a point where you feel like you want to harm yourself or somebody else, I want you to make sure you reach out to the Suicide Prevention Hotline, which is a 24/7 number. That number is 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-TALK. They're there 24/7 if you just need someone to speak to immediately. Also, if you're looking for a professional counselor in your region, all you have to do is just Google licensed professional counselor or LPC for your state or your city, and you will find some counselors that are recommended for your location. Thank you so much, and I really hope this helps you during the process of mental health for COVID-19.
Hi everyone, my name is Nicole DiCarlo. I am on the talent acquisition team, and I've been at Ingram Micro a little over 2 years now. Time has flown by, and I am on the Butterfly ERG, and I had volunteered as part of our wellness initiative for Q3 to discuss mental health and share this video with others. And in part why I felt comfortable to discuss mental health and my own struggles is because of the ERGs at Ingram Micro. I don't think I ever would have, and been comfortable to discuss anything, especially if it comes to me, but I feel it's a topic that needs to be talked about. People need to feel comfortable and know that there's nothing wrong with having challenges when it comes to mental health and your overall healthy mind and wellness, and so it's very important. And honestly, with my own challenges that I've had almost my whole life, and with things like depression, anxiety, and having ADHD and even panic disorder, it's hard to function every day as a normal human being. Some days it's fine, other days it's not. It depends. Sometimes you can go a whole year and be totally fine, and then all of a sudden you don't know why all this anxiety and everything is hitting, and that's a big challenge. And I want to share that with people and let people know they're not alone in this struggle or this challenge. And you'd be amazed at how many people around you are having some of the same struggles that you see every day and would think that they're not. There are days it's very exhausting to just feel like a competent human being when you're having a really hard time. And I just want people to know that there are resources and there's things you can do to try and cope. And probably the last 5 or 6 years, I've really focused on that for myself. And really in the last since the beginning of 2020 with all the stressors of COVID and everything. So I just wanted to say, and also I should say, I grew up in a family where my parents were a whole generation, we're 2 generations apart. Mental health is a taboo topic. You just sucked it up, toughened it out, and you didn't talk about it. What I just want to share is there's so many resources and there's so many coping mechanisms. For me, some of the big things that have helped me is I see a therapist, and honestly, I think even if people feel okay, that I think everyone should see someone to talk to that is objective and not in your circle of people that you can talk to confidentially. And I think it's worth it. And I have allies. I have friends that I know I can talk to about anything, especially one in particular that I know whatever I say, it's going to be judgment free, and they're there. They get it. Other things is there are so many resources you can use through your own cell phone if you have a smartphone, like the podcasts for mental health, meditation, breathing. There's things you can do while you're just laying or just sitting there, and then find things to keep your mind busy. Find something that brings you joy. I know at times I forget to do that for myself, and that's something I really try to work on instead of making life all about one thing. But these are just some things that have helped. And but having people you can talk to and surrounding yourself with really positive, supportive people, and seeing who you feel comfortable with doing that. And then Ingram itself also has an employee assistance program that can offer some resources. So there's a lot of options, and I just did this video because I want people to know you're not alone in the struggle. It's hard for me every day, and I'm actually surprised I'm not crying right now because it is hard to talk about, but I want people to know that they're not alone, and there are a lot of us out there that are willing to support, talk to, be there for you. So I hope you appreciate this. Thank you for listening. Thank you.